Right, good evening, ladies and gents. Thank you very much for joining us here on this Thursday evening. My name's Sean Maaske, as I'm sure you saw on the poster. And this evening, I'm going to try and see how much, if I can impart some knowledge and just give you some tips and things that have helped me, not just in LifeWave, but in the last number of years that I've been in network marketing. I've spent most of my adult life in network marketing, and I have developed some skills over that time. And hopefully, this evening I can impart a few of those onto you guys. I'm here to really tell you, network marketing is very simple. Note I say simple. It's not easy, but it is simple. And very much it is about people. It is a people business. It is a relationship business. And if you can put people first and you can focus your attention on building relationships, then the business actually will take care of itself. As I said, I've been in network marketing since the age of 24. I started in a company called Amway back in the day. And let me tell you, Amway was a company where we sold washing powder and toothpaste. And let me tell you, you've got to become very good at building relationships when you're selling people washing powder and toothpaste. And not just any washing powder and toothpaste. You're selling washing powder and toothpaste that's about 5 times more expensive than normal washing powder and toothpaste. So you've got to become very good at building relationships. So tonight, what I'd really like to do is I want to impart, let's call it 5 keys that I would say are really important in order to build a successful business, in order to build relationships with people. So I'm just going to share one slide with you guys, and that's all the slide I'm going to share. So you can maybe just take that down. These are the 5 keys. Number 1, first of all, and I haven't labeled it, but it is have a goal. And then connect with people, build a list and connect with people, and I'll cover that. Then get good at telling your story. I find that's where people really battle, is just you need to become a good storyteller. And I'll go through some of the tips and tricks for that. Use your upline. There's a very powerful tool that we use in network marketing. It's called edification. And I'll go through that as well. Use counseling. There's only 2 things, ladies and gents, that you need to get good at in this industry. 2 things. You need to have a work ethic, and you need to be able to be teachable. Now, I'm very lucky. I've been able to work with some big names in LifeWave already. I've really had the pleasure of that. And I know Javi, when I'm talking to Javi about a specific person, Javi, the first thing Javi will always ask me, the only thing he'll actually ask me is that person teachable? And most people say yes, but what I've found is a lot of people are not teachable. But you need to be teachable. And then I'll cover very, very short, just a little bit at the end about a thing called cross-lining. And it's something that's not as important, I think, in the type of business that we grow, but I think it's all still just something that's worthwhile understanding. So I hope you've written those down. And then I'd also like to, at the end, I would like to challenge you for the next couple of weeks. So let's start with having a goal. So ladies and gents, what I'd urge you to do is not just have a goal, is go and sit down after this call, or take the weekend and go and sit down with your loved ones. Go and sit down with your partner, your husband or your wife. Go and sit down with your kids and go and write down some dreams. Has anyone ever asked you to put your dreams down? I'll tell you who never will. Your boss never will. He doesn't care. And often in your own business, you also, generally we don't dream. Most people nowadays, we're in survival mode. It's how do I get to the end of the month? But I urge you to do that. I urge you to go and take a book, go and sit with your loved ones and go and dream. What could you do if you could earn an extra couple of $1,000s a month and have some time freedom? What could you do with that? What could you do if you could earn an extra $10,000 a month and have time freedom? What would that mean to you? What could you do if you could earn an extra $50,000 a month and have time freedom? What would that mean to you? What could you do? I challenge you to go and write 100 dreams. It's very difficult. You may think, hey, I could do it. It's very difficult. And you can cheat and write all the different countries you'd like to travel to. all the different charities you'd like to give money to, all the people you'd like to help, the things you'd like to become. I urge you, start there. Go and write down your dream. And once you've written down your dreams, then the next step then is to, what is your goal? And anybody here that knows Javi knows that Javi's a manager making machine. That's their slogan. That's what they do. So the first goal, guys, if you haven't reached manager yet, your very first goal is go manager. And if you've gone manager and you haven't found a builder, guess what? Build another manager. Put another 4 people in. 2 left, 2 right. And if you still haven't found a builder, guess what? Put another 4 in. 2 left, 2 right. And if you do that enough times, you'll find the builders. And then all you do is you help those people who want to build do the same thing. Go manager. See, manager is not an end goal, but it's a stepping stone. And as I see from Javi, all they've done is focus on manager. Build a manager. Find someone in that little group of 4 people, help them build a manager. Help them build a manager. And if you don't have a manager, a builder in those 4, then just build another one. Now you may be saying to me, yeah, Sean, yeah, it's not that simple. It is that simple. It's not that easy because you're dealing with people. And unfortunately, people, as I'm sure you all know, people don't make rational decisions. We don't make logical decisions. We make emotional decisions and back it up with logic. The goal of this whole life way of this industry is to duplicate yourself. And a manager module is very easy to duplicate. But as I'm sure you know, duplication works very well in mathematics. It also works very well in germs. It doesn't work as well with people. Because as I said, people make emotional decisions and try and back it up with logic rather than logical decisions and back it up with emotion. We operate the opposite way around. If we were all logic, these businesses would just grow. They would become saturated in a matter of months because everyone would go, cool, yeah, I invite 5, they invite 5, they invite 5, and away we go. So I'm here to tell you, focus on these 5 things. So once you've got a goal, and guys, the goal is manager. What do you do after that? So the first thing you want to do is you want to connect with people on your list. Make a list. Chris and Lucinda have been incredible. They've got if you haven't seen it on the link tree, there is an onboarding sheet. There is a prospect list. Go and start writing names on your prospect list. And here's again, ladies and gents, the mistake I see a lot of people make. The invitation, the getting information to people is not the list. Treat the list as a separate entity all on its own. Just build a list. Go through your contacts. And I'm not suggesting you write every name down. I would start by going onto your WhatsApps and your contacts and looking to see how many names you have on your phone. Most people have between 800 and 1,000. A lot of people have between 2,000 and 5,000. Now, you may not want to contact all of them. What I would suggest you do is start at the A's and go and look. This person, Nico. Okay, cool. When last did I speak to Nico? Go onto WhatsApp and see when last you spoke to. And if you've spoken to Nico on WhatsApp in the last 5 years, put his name down. And alongside that, put down where you know them from, where they're based, and start there. Start making a list. Javi says, if you could earn, would you be willing to speak to between 600 and 800 people in order to build $1 million business? Would you do that? And I'll ask you guys on this call that now. Would you do that? Put your hand up or put in the chat, yes, you would. Yes, no, yes, you would. It's probably a bit long. Or put a 1 or whatever. Put something in the chat. Would you be willing to do that? And if the answer is yes, well, then all you need to figure out is, how do I speak to 600 to 900 people? And here's the thing, ladies and gents. If you've got a couple of thousand people on your phone, yes, you might not speak to all of them, but guess what? I guarantee you could put 200, 300, 400 people on a list. So now you've built your list. What's the next step? Because now let's think you do. Let's say you do put 200 to 300. Let's say you need 600 people. And when I say contacting people, again, a lot of people think that, oh, I've got to get 600 people and I've got to send 600 people information and I've got to, no. You got to send six to 900 people a message. Hey guys, how you doing? Haven't spoken to you in 5 years. Saw your name and number in my contact list. How have you been? What have you and the family been doing? How have you been? What have you been up to? That's contacting people. And from that, certain people will come back to you and start the conversation, and you can, and we'll get onto that just now, you can see where the conversation rolls. But guys, that's what works. You know, people come into this business and they seem to think that, oh, it's easy. You know, I'm excited about this. So guess what? I'll speak to my 5 friends or 10 friends. They'll all be excited. They'll speak to their 5 or 10 friends and I'll go sit on the beach and be rich and free and never have to worry about a thing. And they speak to their 5 or 10 friends and their 5 or 10 friends says, nah, I'm not interested. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm done. Now, first of all, most of the time, people are speaking to their 5 or 10 friends in a I wouldn't say wrong, because there's no real wrong or right way, but an ineffective way of delivering information. And I'll come on to that now. So it's be teachable. Realize that when you come into this business, you have to learn some skills. So let's say you now built your list. You've got 200, 300, 400 names. And guys, put as many names on there as you can, because the more names you've got, the more confident you'll be when you speak to people. If you've only got 20 names, you know, Harvey will tell you, and the whole, this is a team actually, will tell you, in order to go SPD, what you need to do is 40 people, 20 left, 20 right, as quickly as you can. If you can do 20 left, 20 right as quickly as you can go SPD. But guess what? If you've only got a list of 20 people, yeah, it starts putting some pressure on. Because now every time someone says no, oh, now I've got one less to go SPD. Whereas if you've got 200 names, 300 names, 400 names, you've got confidence, because now if someone says no, so what? I've got 399 more people I can talk to. Guys, mass action. What I've realized in this business is mass action. Don't play around with it. Put in the work. So you've built the list. And now, if you're brand new, my suggestion is there will be 20 to 30 people on that list that you can pick the phone up and phone them and talk to them, or you can send them a voice note. And it's very easy because you speak to these people on a regular basis. And this is what I would suggest, is organize with your upline to do a launch meeting, a launch call. Now, you may be thinking, yeah, sure, but I want to try the patches out for 3 months before I go and talk to anybody. And if that's what you want to do, there's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But here's my thinking. If you're patching and you want to get LifeWave to pay for your patches, then don't wait. You don't have to see results to know that the results are there. You just got to look at the link tree and see the 550 results. So what you can do is, I would suggest, speak to your upline, organize a launch for 2 or 3 days from today, and get onto those 20 to 30 people and send them an invite. And this is what I would suggest. And these invites are available if you want to utilize them. Let me just see, where is it? But tell me, how difficult would this be? Let's say you've been patching for a couple of months now. To either send a voice note to someone saying, hey, George, how are you? How's the family? What have you guys been up to for the last few days, weeks, months, whenever last you spoke to them? And leave it at that. And that person will eventually come back to you. And when they come back to you, or if you're on the phone, you can do it all in obviously one. It'll be a bit weird if you just say, how are you doing? And then shut up and don't ever say anything again. But if you're sending a voice note, they'll come back to you and say, hey, George, we're great, thank you. Family's good. We're all good or not good, whatever it might be. And then you can say to them, listen, George, I just wanted to reach out to you quickly. Over the past little while, I've been using a new stem cell activation patch. And honestly, the results have been incredible. It's something really different. I immediately thought of you. I've asked a good friend of mine who understands this way better than I do to host a short explanation call. It's only 30 minutes. It's happening tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I'd love you to jump on, hear how this thing works, and see if it's something that could benefit you or the family, the way it's helped me. Can I count you in on? Can I count you? Can I count you in? Now, is that something you could do? Is that hard? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. And if you haven't been patching or you've just started patching, you can still use exactly the same invitation. But instead of saying you've been using this patch, you can say to people, I've been researching this patch and I've decided to start using this new stem cell activation patch. And from the testimonials I've seen, the results are incredible. It's something really different. I thought of you and the family. I've asked a good friend of mine who understands this way better than I do to host a short explanation call, only 30 minutes. It's happening tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I'd love you to jump on, see how it works, and see if it's something that could benefit the family. Can I count you in on joining us? Difficult? I don't know. It's rough. But this is what I would suggest you do. Contact people and use that invitation or an invitation like it and bring people onto a presentation. We have presentations every day. Either bring them onto a presentation or get your upline to do a presentation just for you. And sometimes I believe that's better because it doesn't, puts you on the hook. If you're doing a presentation for yourself, you don't just want to invite one person. It'll drive you to invite more people. But that's what you do. And if you've moved through some of those and you're now on a list where you are contacting people, because here's the thing, ladies and gents, most people can sign up for. Most people have got enough friends and family that they can bring onto a presentation quickly and sign up for and go manager. It's not that hard. But often what happens then is now your hot list, your friends, your family are done. Now that's where the real work starts, because now you've got to dig into your list. Now you've got to get into your list. And I find, please guys, sending bulk messages to people doesn't work. We are relationship builders. You want people to feel thought about. You don't want people to feel gotten. Anybody ever heard anybody get messages on Telegram and WhatsApp? Hi dear, how are you? You have no idea who they are, but it's hi dear. Would you be interested in looking at an investment opportunity? We get those things, right? What do we tell them? Get out of here. Not interested. Why people still do that, I have no idea, because I can't see how anybody would ever sign up or get involved in anything like that, because there's no relationship. So you want people to feel thought about. When you're talking to someone, you want that person, even if they're not interested, to get off that message or hear that message or get off the call with you and feel better about themselves than they did when they first got on that call. So how do you do that? And the first thing you do is you connect with people. Hi, Freeman. How are you? How is the family doing? And guys, we've signed people up that I haven't spoken to for 6-7 years. Because all I did is I send the message, 10 messages every day. I move through my contact list, 10 messages every day. Hey, Freeman, how are you? I know we haven't spoken in like forever, but I saw your contact details on my phone and I got to thinking, I wonder what you're doing. How are you? How's the family? What have you been up to for the last 6 years? Love to hear back from you. And some people come back to you and some people won't. And if they don't come back, it's fine. Leave them. You can always get back to them again. I always do voice notes, and I like voice notes because I'm a high energy person. People can feel my energy and my emotion through a voice note. Very difficult to express tonality through a written message, but through a voice note you can. But the downside of a voice note is just that sometimes people see it, they can't listen to it at the time, and they forget about it. So I always do voice notes, but there are pros and cons to both. I just think there's far more pros to voice notes than written notes. So that's what I would do. And if we've got a good enough relationship, Freeman and Freeman's a decent, polite person, guess what he's going to do? He's going to write back to me and ask me how I'm doing. And then, ladies and gents, what you've got to get good at is practice your story. Practice your story. Because here's one way of doing it. Hey, Freeman, thank you very much for getting back to me. I'm glad the family's good. I'm still involved in the cryptocurrency space, but lately I've started a stem cell activation business. Well, whoop-de-doo. What does that mean to Freeman? What does a stem cell activation business mean to Freeman? Absolutely zero. And that's what I see people doing. I'm involved in a stem cell business. I'm sending messages to people and they're not coming back to me because it doesn't mean anything to them. But if I send a message to Freeman and I say to him, now, look, you don't want to send an hour-long message, but you can condense this into like a minute or two. But I send a message to Freeman and I say, hey, Freeman, great to hear from you. So glad you guys are doing well. I'm still involved in my cryptocurrency business. We teach people how to invest in cryptocurrency the right way. But more recently, I've gotten involved in a stem cell activation business. The company's called LifeWave. You may have heard of it. And to be very honest with you, when I was first introduced, I had no interest whatsoever. But the guy who was talking to me managed to get me to have a cup of coffee with him. And this guy had been bald since the 90s. So I thought, gee whiz, if it's done this for you, I better start patching. So I started patching, and man, my psoriasis cleared up. But then, because I saw results, I patched my mom. My mom's got rheumatoid arthritis. She couldn't walk the dogs on the beach. Now she can walk the dogs on the beach. I patched a friend of mine whose wife has got scoliosis. And after 25 years on chronic medication, she now doesn't need to use her chronic medication anymore. I've got a friend of mine who's been patching for a couple of months, and he's now come off his diabetes meds. And I tell a couple of stories, and then I move it back. I don't include them in my story. I don't say to them, oh, maybe I can get you some information. I move it back to them and say, I'm so glad you guys are doing well. We are so blessed. We're now spending more time focused on this business because it's getting such results for people. I hope you're doing well. Let's stay in touch. But you know what, and then what I do is I leave it there. And because I've told such a good story, guess what people often do? Wow, Sean, that sounds exciting. Can you send me some information? Now, how much selling have I done? Zero. They've asked me for information. And guess what? If someone asks me for information, there's probably 95% more chance they're going to open and read that information. And they're interested because they've asked me. So there's more chance of them signing up. But guess what? If they don't ask me, guess what I do? I maybe wait 5 minutes, maybe. Or maybe I'll wait a day. Or maybe I'll wait a week. And I'll get back. Depends how busy I am. It depends who they are. If they're a network marketer or something, I may only wait 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And then I'll send them another voice note saying, yes, Freeman, sorry, man. I was just thinking, I was telling you about this company I'm involved in, LifeWave, and I didn't think. I know you've been involved in XYZ. And man, I just wanted to ask. This is a total shot in the dark. No pressure whatsoever. But I just thought I would ask. I know you've been a success in XYZ. Can I ask you, would you be open to me sending you some information? Either maybe for using the patch, but more importantly, from maybe a business perspective. I'd love you to have a look. As I said, no pressure, but I thought I would ask. And you know how many people, unless you really don't want to get information, you know what most people say? Sure. Because you know why? Because it's been thought about. The person hasn't been gotten. They've been considered. I've also given them a reason for me contacting them and telling them. I've given them a compliment. People feel good about themselves. Oh wow, Sean's not trying to get me. He's not going through his whole list just trying to get people, even though I am going through my whole list trying to sign people up. I don't want people to feel that. I want people to feel thought about. People want to feel thought about, guys. So that's how I would suggest you start looking at this. Start building those relationships right from the very beginning. And then the next thing is use your upline. Use your upline. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a concept that we use in network marketing specifically. It's also used. There's a very good book called The Outside Expert with a Briefcase. And it was based, I think, back in the 70s or 80s. And the insurance companies used to use this. You don't promote a company, you promote a person. And you big that person up so much. And then you stick that person in front of somebody. And you let that person sell the product. And it's a principle that says anybody can promote anybody. You just can't promote yourself. It's a very, guys, if you understand this concept, it is an incredibly powerful tool. Because Graham, you may have people who you want to put in front of this business. You may be a fantastic success. But guess what? No one wants to hear what a fantastic success you are from your lips. No one wants to hear that. You just look like an ass when you walk around telling people how amazing you are. But guess what? Anybody else can tell your friends, your people, how amazing you are, and guess what? They believe you. When you say it, when you tell people how amazing you are, people don't believe it. But when anybody else does, they believe it. And it's not designed, it's not a tool to be used as, oh, I give you a big head. It's a tool. And the way you can use it is you get Tim I want to introduce my people to Tim, because Tim, if anybody's seen Tim's presentation, man, he does an incredible presentation. So what do? I promote Tim, and I tell people how amazing Tim is. Not for Tim's benefit, for my own benefit. I tell people how amazing Tim is. So guess what? When people come on, they think Tim's amazing. So when Tim tells them something, guess what? They believe it. They absorb the information better because they believe Tim's amazing. Because Tim didn't say it, I said it. And then what Tim can do is Tim can then tell my people how amazing I am. And guess what? They believe it. It's a very powerful tool, guys. Use it. Get your people onto three-way calls with your upline. And it doesn't matter who it is. It's just not you. And if your upline's smart, that's all he'll do is he'll tell you, man, Freeman's amazing. Listen to Freeman. You're so lucky to be part of. Freeman tells his people, you got to meet up with Sean, man. Sean's this incredible guy. He's been patching for such a time and he's building a business, blah, 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 whatever. And then Freeman puts his people in front of me, and I tell his people, man, you know what? You guys are so lucky that you're part of Freeman's business. Freeman's building an incredible business. You want to tuck in behind Freeman, listen to whatever Freeman has to say, because he's moving it. And guess what? The people listen. So use that, guys. It's an incredible tool. Get good at that. Get good at promoting. Get good at promoting people. Good at promoting the training. Get good at promoting the events. Get good at promoting. You just get good at promoting. Promote everything. Everything's great. Never talk bad about anything in the system, because it might not be, the system might not work. Some parts of the system might not work for you, but the system works for everyone. So promote that. Promote the people who are doing the speaking. Even if you don't like the presentation, the amount of times I've put people in front of a presentation and I didn't know who the speaker was, and then when the speaker walks out to go and do the presentation, I'm like, oh my goodness, I brought my prospect to come and see this bloke. Oh my Lord, what have I done? And at the end of the presentation, my prospect goes, man, that was brilliant. Geez, that guy's amazing. He's fantastic. And you think to yourself, thank goodness I just didn't say anything. I said how amazing the presenter was. So promote everything, guys, because you never know. People connect differently with different people. But use that. Use edification. It is an incredible, incredible tool to use. Then the next thing that I would suggest you do is get good at counseling. Be teachable. And what do I mean by be teachable? Ladies and gents, most of you guys, I'm sure on this call, are professional in something. You've learned a skill. You've learned something. This industry, this business is exactly the same thing. Most people don't come into this business being experts at building relationships. It's something, and in actual fact, most people are very bad. You come from the corporate arena, guess what? I've got people in my team. They say to me, they just gone manager. They say to me, Sean, I've got this guy and I've got this guy. They're going manager. And I'm like, really? Like, how do you know that? Because I told them they're going manager. I'm like, okay, let's see how that works out for you. Because they come from the corporate background. So they're used to people listening to them. I tell them what to do and they go out and do it. And if they don't do it, guess what? I fire them. In this industry, we don't fire people. You can't fire people. We are building what's called a volunteer army. I would rather have someone in my business do nothing, but still be in my business, than not be in my business. So we work with people who want to run. We run with people who want to run. And we walk and we pat the people on the head who want to walk. We don't wait for them. There's a saying, we love everybody, we wait for no one. But you have to get good. There are skills that you're going to have to develop, ladies and gentlemen, in this business. And there is phenomenal teaching. You've got incredible people in the business. Chris, George, Javi, incredible people that have built huge businesses that pour knowledge back in. But you have to be open and willing to accept that. And to be honest with you, I'm speaking to the wrong people on this group, because you guys are all on this meeting, so you understand the benefit of learning skills. It's the people that are not on this meeting tonight that need to be on the meeting. Isn't that funny? But that's what you're going to need to do, guys. Learn to be a student of this business. Learn. Go and ask your upline, please tell me what to do. Because as I said, most people will come into this business and think it's a great idea to send out a bulk message to 50 people. Hi, Nadine. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Listen, I've started this new business. It's got stem cell activity. It's about stem cell activity, blah, 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 blah. I'm hosting a Zoom meeting on Tuesday at 5 o'clock. I want you to be there. And they wonder why no one pitches up. It's because this business is simple, but it's not obvious. It's not obvious. And in actual fact, a lot of the things that you think should work don't work. I had a call. I just got to check to make sure they're not on the call. I don't think they are. And I had a guy that I'm working closely with in the business, or have been for quite some time. Yeah, he's not on the call. Good. Who kind of, he's not been getting results. And we had a call a couple of weeks ago when I asked him, like, what are you doing? And he said to me, no, I send this. He's got like a 1 minute. Before we got into the business, before we decided to network market, or should I say, before we decided to build the business, we were trying to do this our own way. I decided I don't want to get involved in network marketing again. I'm done. But the product is incredible, so let's sell it on the merits of the product. And we try to do Facebook ads and all of that sort of stuff. And we made a little short 1 minute video clip using AI back in those days. Now that was like 7, 8 months ago. So when I asked this gentleman, I asked him, like, what are you doing? Like, how are you connecting with people? He said to me, no, I just send them this 1 minute video clip, and then I get on a call with him, and literally he swore, I'm not going to use the F word, and said, what's wrong with you? Why don't you build this freaking business? Don't you like money? And I'm like, okay, how's that working out for you? There are things that might seem like they might work in your business, in your profession. Ladies and gents, they might not work here. I'm not saying they won't, but they might not. This is a relationship business. People will buy from you if they know, like, and trust you. So the whole thing is, that's why we go into our list. Guys, don't worry about the social media. Don't jump onto social media and try and talk to strangers. Focus on the people you've already got a relationship with, the people in your phone book, the people on your phone book. Who uses a phone book nowadays? The people in your phone, you have a relationship with them. Start there. Once you've gone through that, you can then move on to the people you don't know. But I see that over and over again. People want to go, I'm going to go and build a website. I'm going to build a funnel. I'm going to talk to people that don't know me. Yeah, that might work. But you know how hard it is. And some of us, like Tim, we know, we've tried. You got to work very hard, man, to build relationships with people who don't know you, especially nowadays, because people get flooded with stuff. They're constantly being bombarded with this and that and scam and blah, 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 blah. You got to spend so much time and effort and energy building relationships with people you don't know, when you've got a list of hundreds of people you already know. Start there. Work through those people first, and then go on to, you are eventually going to run out of a list. I accept that. But don't push your list to the side and work on something, on people you don't know. Focus on your list. Again, that might make sense to do that. It doesn't work. There are skills and skill sets within this industry and within this business you are going to have to learn. Become a student. Read books. There's the Network Marketing Pro, I think it's called, by Eric Worre. Great book. Go and read that. Go and watch Jason Kidd. Go and watch Eric Worre. Go and watch Fraser Brooks. And guess what, guys? It's free. You can go onto YouTube and watch their videos. But you need to develop a skill set. Learn, do, and then teach. That's how the business works. Learn, do, teach. Learn, do, teach. So counseling. And then lastly, I just want to talk a little bit about cross-lining. And I think just because it's not something that we don't really talk about in LifeWave so much, purely because we build two legs. So pretty much the people down line of you are almost always 50% chance they're going to be in your network. But here's the challenge, or here's the difficulty or the problem with cross-lining. And when I say cross-lining, ladies and gents, if somebody's in your downline because it's overspill from someone who's put that person in above you or below you, they are not your person. You do not have the right to go and contact that person and talk to that person. They are not your people. And especially if you're going to contact those people to share some negative stuff that's not working for you or because you're upset and things like that. Guys, don't do it. It ruins businesses. These network marketing companies are never destroyed from the outside. They're destroyed from the inside, which is why edification is so important, which is why counseling is so important, and which is why cross-lining is so important. In the Amway business, it was a uni-level structure. So everybody you sign up is your people. There is nobody else that's going to be putting people in underneath you. But I mean, there in the company, in the business structure we were in, I mean, it was kind of like anybody that's not in your team, hi, nice shoes, buy. Anything else is cross-lining. You do not speak business. And I'll tell you why that is you've got an active upline. And they may be working with numerous people in the organization, but it's like mountain climbers. If you've got two mountain climbers and they're both climbing the Eiger, which is a mountain, the one's climbing the north face of the Eiger and the other one's climbing the south face of the Eiger. Guess what? They're both climbing a mountain. They're both climbing the same mountain. But your upline sits at the top of that mountain. He can see the route on the north face. He can see the route on the south face. He can see both routes. The problem is when the person climbing the north face of the Eiger is trying to tell the person climbing the south face of the Eiger how to climb the mountain and what route to take. It might not be the same route. Which is why always use your upline. Always talk to your upline. If you've got a challenge, take it upline. If you've got a grievance, take it upline. Don't take it cross-line. So we find that's often what people, we've seen it already in our organization, because people are so close together, you feel, oh, cool, I'm going to go and talk to this person. And you find it's very easy to do it, and it's very subtle. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, well, I'm doing this. Well, why is Tim doing that with you, but he's not doing that with me? I wonder. Starts to plant seeds of doubt and what, I don't even know what the word is, but it starts to play on people's mind. And where it happens even more often is when someone will go down line because they're unhappy and something's not working and go, oh, well, you know, this is happening. This is what's happening in my business. What's happening in your business? I can't get anything to work. And what that starts to do is it starts to sow seeds of doubt, confusion. And what I see with people when they're confused, guess what they do? Nothing. They sit there in frozen motion, waiting to get clarity again. So guys, don't do it. Use your upline. Use your active upline. Counsel with your active upline. You should be once a month. If you're actively building, you want to be sitting once a month with your active upline and say, this is what I'm doing. This is who I'm working with. I'm working with this person and we're doing X. I'm working with this person and we're doing Y. And your upline can give you some counsel, some idea, because he's got a bigger vision, bigger view. He can give you some idea of what's happening, what's not happening. Ladies and gents, you don't have to build this in isolation. We've seen it as well. Counsel is very important. We see that people go off and they start building and they get no results. And then they come back and go, well, I've got no results. And you go, well, what have you done? Well, I've done X, Y, Z. And you could have told, if you had asked me beforehand, I would have told you that's not going to work. That's what you may have done if you're in a corporate business. Doesn't work for network marketing, but now it's too late. Now you've done it and you've come to the fact afterwards. And now you're unhappy, you've got no results, you've burnt through your list. Now you've got to start again. So guys, ladies and gents, these are just principles that I've learned over many years of building businesses which are very difficult to build. The benefit of LifeWave is we've got an incredible product that works. We're changing people's lives. There is no competition. But I've realized that the rules and the skill sets of network marketing still apply. But if you apply them in this, it's like network marketing businesses it's like a network marketing business on steroids. You will fly. But you still need to master the basics. You still need to get good at some of these things that may make sense, that normally don't make sense to people. Things like getting good at telling your story. Things like using your upline. In business, you've always you're pushing yourself forward in conventional business. You're always trying to get over the competition. You're pushing yourself. You're promoting yourself. In this business, self-promotion doesn't work. You can try it. But as you will hear, Javi, I'm sure George, Chris will tell you the same thing. Why do it your own way? Fail our way first. And if it doesn't work, doing it the proven method from the guys that have built big businesses and had success, if it then doesn't work, sure, go and do your own thing. But why start doing your own thing? There's books and books and books full of stuff that doesn't work. So sure, you can go write your own book on something that doesn't work. Go for it, sure. Or you can tap into people like George, like Chris, like Javi, who have built huge businesses and follow a proven track record and do what works. Get a dream, ladies and gents. Once you've got a dream, get a goal. If you haven't reached manager yet, that should be your first goal. And if you have reached manager and you haven't found a builder yet, then build manager again and keep doing that until you find some builders, and they're there. Promise you, they're there. Get yourself a list. And I'm telling you right now, I would almost guarantee every person on this call, except maybe for George, has still got people on their list that they can tap into. Go back to your list, guys. Build your list. Go and build a list. Build a list. It is your asset in this. And then don't stop building it. Keep adding people all the time. We've got some great people in our organization. Tim, Kent, their whole goal is to be, how do I find more people? How do I meet more people? Where can I get people to add them to my list? You might not talk to them immediately, but you keep on building that asset. That at some point, you're able to now tap into that person and ask them the question. Even George has got people he still needs to talk to. So let me tell you this, guys. If George has still got people he needs to talk to, then every single one of us has still got people they need to talk to. Every single one of us. So go back to your list. Make a new list. Start again. If you haven't spoken to some people for the last 7, 8, 9, 10 months, you can contact them again. And then, guys, get good at telling your story. Become a good storyteller. Facts tell, stories sell. Get good at telling a story, get people interested, and then use your upline. Tap into the person, your upline. Guys, they're free. They don't charge. I mean, when I think of what people like George would charge, if they charged an hourly rate, you would never be able to afford them. Chris, you'd never be able to afford him. Javi, you definitely wouldn't be able to afford him if he charged you an hourly rate for his time. But guess what, guys? He doesn't. You've got people like George, and I guarantee you he would have no problem coming on and speaking to your people. See, George, he meets people every day. So, guys, here's the other thing. George is an SPD. If anybody here doesn't know, George is an SPD. Got a huge business. But George is still doing the basics. He's still meeting people. He's still adding people to his list. Guys, if George is still doing it, you should be doing it. That's the actions of the business. And I can tell you right now, ladies and gents, most of you are not doing enough work. If you're not getting results and you're unhappy, look at your business and look at yourself and say, well, if I was going to employ me to prospect, to get information in front of people, would I be paying me, or would I fire me? Honestly, ask yourself that question, because most people, I believe, in this industry, they just never do the work. They speak to their 5 mates and they realize, oh, this is difficult. Let me go find something easier. In my estimation, everything's hard. You just got to pick your hard. Working for a boss is hard. Running a business is hard. Tim will tell you, Kent will tell you, These are business owners. Guys, running a business is hard. A conventional business is hard. Network marketing, guess what? It's hard. Just pick your hard. And once you've got your list and you're building, then use your, like I said, use your upline. Start counseling. Start asking people who are been in the business longer, who have more experience, what you should be doing. Become teachable. Become a student of this business. Devour as much information as you can. You know, I was on a Tony Robbins UPW seminar back in 2022. And what they do is they run like a 4-day course where you do like 14, 15 hours a day. And their whole ethos behind that is immersion. You want to immerse yourself. The results you'll get by immersing yourself for a short period of time, the results you'll get from talking to 20 people every day for 6 months will far outstrip you speaking to that same amount of people over 2 or 3 years. Your results will be astronomically higher by condensing that. It's the same with your education. Become a student. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want this business. I don't want to be sitting at a manager or a director or in a year or 2 years' time. I want to be an SPD tomorrow. So guess what? The way to become an SPD tomorrow is do the work today. So counsel with your upline. And then guys, promote everything. Speak highly. Be positive about everything. Don't pull things down. Don't pull people down. Don't ask people who are cross-line, who are not physically involved in your business, what to do because they don't know. And they may not be financially tied to you. They may have no reason to give you the best information. But guess who does? Your upline. Your upline's got every reason to give you the best information he can, because the better information he gives you, or he or she gives you, the better they will do as an upline. And then lastly, what I'd like to urge you guys is set a goal for yourself. This business is about people. When you focus on building strong, authentic relationships with people, the business will take care of itself. I promise you that. So I challenge you, try and see over the next week if you can make 3 genuine connections with people. Not over the next week, try and do 3 connections a day. And when I say connections, it's not handing the business information out to people. It's, hey, George, how are you? I know we haven't spoken in a long time, but I saw your name and number in my contact list. I was thinking about you, and I'd love to know what you and the family have been up to the last couple of years. Love to hear back from you. Connect with people. And then get good. Practice every day in the mirror. Tell your story. Tell your story. Tell your story. Tell your story. And then use your upline for the next call that you get on with somebody who's keen. And then you guys will be sitting on the beaches of the world with people like George and Javi and Chris. And I'm definitely going to be there. I can promise you that much. And the world will be your oyster. So thank you very much. I'll take, if there's any questions, we've got a couple of minutes left. Please feel free, guys. If you want to ask some questions, please do. Otherwise, I really appreciate the time. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and all the very best.